Today I'm going to start showing you how PyGame works. PyGame allows you to create video games using the scripting language Python. I suggest if you've never used Python to learn a little bit of Python before you jump into PyGame. I am going to try to make things very simple here. In fact, I'm kind of new to PyGames, so I just thought I'd give these tutorials to help other people get started, and I'm going to break them up into very simple tutorials. And today, all we're going to learn how to do is create a PyGame screen. So a window to pop up for your PyGames to run in. So let me get started. We're going to create a script. I'm going to use Vim as my text editor, but you can use whatever text editor you like using. So Vim, and I'm just going to call it my game, and I'm going to call it .py, although you don't have to in Unix systems, but it helps me know that that's a Python script. So I'm in here, and I'm going to start editing it, and first thing is I have to tell it where my Python environment is, and on many systems, although it may vary, it's under user bin Python. Oops, Python. There we go. Now we need to import some things. We're going to import sys and PyGame, and you'll see why we import sys as well later on. Next, we're going to initiate PyGame. So PyGame dot init. Now I'm going to create some variables. First variable I'm going to call it size, and size will be, and we'll create some other variables here, width and height. And we're going to set those equal to, we'll say 600 by 400. Although you can make your screen whatever size you would like. Next thing I'm going to create our screen. So I'm going to create a variable called screen, set equal to pygame.display. So we're creating our screen, and we're going to set the display mode. So basically here we're creating our window and the size, and we've already created a variable for the size called size. So there we go, that's creating our window, and that's pretty much all you have to do to create a PyGame window. Let's save this code and exit out. We'll change the mode of the game, so we're changing the permissions of the game to +X, so it's executable, and then we'll run the script using ./mygame.py. We'll hit enter. You see a window pops up here, and then it closes. I'll show you again right here, but then it closes. The reason it closes is because the Python script is running, and it goes through all this, creates the window, and then it exits out because it's the end of the script. So to prevent that from happening, we have to create some sort of loop to keep the game going. So I'm going to add to the end of our script here a while loop. So while 1, which means constantly, it's going to do this loop forever until we kill it. And what we're going to put in the loop, because we have to have something in the loop, and we have to some way to kill the game when we want to kill it. I'm going to add a for loop. So we're going to do for event in pygame dot event dot get, and then we'll explain this for you here. So for event, so for basically any type of user input in that, well, event is the variable we're creating, and what we're looking at, any event that PyGame recognizes. This can be mouse movements, key presses, or manipulation to the windows, such as what we're going to do is if you hit the X to close the program. So it's going to constantly checking for anything PyGame recognizes as an input. And we're going to say here, if the event dot type equals pygame dot capital quit, what we're going to do is we're going to go sys, that's why we imported sys up here, dot exit. So basically what that's saying is if you press this part here, pygame quit, if you exit out of the game, in this case by pressing the X on the window, what we're going to do is exit. We're going to kill the script that we're running. And that's it. If we save that, we can run it again. We don't have to change mod again because it's already been changed to be executable. There's our window, and it stays open until we hit the X, and then it will close. So let's have another quick look. I'll explain the script one more time. Setting our Python environment, importing PyGame and sys, starting PyGame, setting our screen size, starting up the screen, the window, and then looping the game until we exit. And I'll show you here. I'll hit I, come over here, or I hit I in Vim to go into edit mode. If you're not using Vim, then you don't need to do that. I'll set that to 2. I will save the script and run it again, and you can now see our window has changed size. Instead of being 600 across, it's only 200 pixels across, 400 down. And I'll exit out of that, go back in, and I'll change that back to 600, run it again, and you can see it's back to the 600 by 400 size. So that is very simply, that's how you create a window in PyGame with ease. It wasn't very much code and doesn't really do much, but in future tutorials, keep watching. We're going to do some interesting stuff. For more video tutorials like this, visit filmsbychris.com. Have a great day.